Hi Ryan, thank you for redeeming first and getting your check-in. How are you? I coffee. Just want something warm. Is that weird? Maybe it's like hella Puerto Rican of me, so like want coffee at night. Is that weird? How's your day today? I'll be running Dead by Daylight. How are you doing today? I'm doing really good. I started my part-time job today, which is interesting to be at a plant store. I've never done retail. It was a Monday, yeah. I've never done retail. I want to do something different. For a little bit, like part time, get some more money. That'd be fun. So I'm a team lead, not really starting position, but they want to start me part time. Good. I don't need a full time job right now. I'm not sure I could do a plant storm full time. Sorry, it was a Monday, Ryan. Is work just annoying on Mondays? I mean, Mondays kind of suck, huh? Mondays always get me in my head. I'm gonna run some 1v4s again. I had so much fun yesterday. I think I'm gonna do that again today. Um, see if I can stretch my DVD loops in a regular match because 2v8 kind of gets you out of what real DVD is like, you know? It's not really the same. Are you off work already, Rosa? It's taxi. Oh, right. I remember now. It's gonna be like this until next month. Oh, yuck. I'm so sorry. I think you're gonna be okay though. I believe in you. If anyone could handle it. Hi, Allie. Thank you for checking in. Oh, you're gonna eat trust. Yeah, I'm just trying to rest before I gotta get up. Okay, but where are you going today? Where are you going? I've been sending voice notes back and forth with my brother today. Ali, how are you doing? How was your movie? The Monty Python movie. How was your night with your fam? You must be pretty close to your dad and your brother then. Let's just switch screens, I guess. Hard seltzer, period. Ooh, okay, Ali, being bad. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run some 1v4s today. I might open obbies, but maybe I'll play a few alone. We're just gonna play with Gabe. Went for pizza after two. It was fun. Oh, awesome. I miss being close to my family. I live very far from everyone, everyone now, so I don't get to see everybody as often. Bowling, I love bowling. Bowling's so much fun, guys. My body's so sore from helping my friend move yesterday. Moved back to a few years ago. Oh, yeah, of course. We're gonna jump right in. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Both my parents were like born and raised in New York, so we didn't really have that problem. My whole family was always in New York. This is like the first time in my life. Like I don't live near any of them. I know, Ali. Don't. It's it's been a struggle, but I made another one. I have to have coffee at night. I guess that's so me for real. I mean, what can I say? Ali, how was your day today? Did you have an easy Monday? I hope it was easier than Ryan's was. Order. Oh, oh no. Did you have to go back and get it? wasn't too bad. We have a month and oh, it's gonna be great though. I believe in you. We're just gonna run these 1v4s. I know for the best. We'll be a healer. We'll be altruistic as fuck. No, thankfully I just listened to my friend. She said I could drop it out. Oh my god. But see, isn't that the best? Like, working in schools, I always appreciated having relationships with families, and that's really hard to come by now. Getting all the saves. Yep. 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 Oh. We have to. I wish I had a soundboard, because then I would just play the sound.
Yup, 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 yup.
We're at the same preschool. That is so nice. I wish, like, that's how my high school experience was. That's how my like coming up experience was. Like, I had my friends. I knew my friends' families. They knew my family, and like our teachers knew my family. Like, it was just like very connected, you know. And I didn't get that going into education with my experience, so it kind of like pushed me away from it, because that's kind of what I wanted. Not every school is like that. It's good that you have your friend around to like help you out. Oh, that's so fun. Micah, welcome in. Thank you for the check-in. Hey boo, hey. Hey. How are you? Are you at work today? I'm having coffee, guys. Is this a mistake at 6 p.m.? No, I'll probably fall asleep, right? I'm streaking! Allie! Allie's streaking! She's running around! She's running around with no clothes! Help! Okay. But you see, like, this map isn't on 2v8. Oh, it's Trapper. Oh! Me getting scared, like, I'm just gonna look down the rest of the match, right? Okay, where are these generators, though? Oh, look, a trap there. Right here. Just a little lunch break or whatever. It's not lunch at all. It is literally 6 p.m. Okay, lunch break. It's 6 p.m. Don't encourage this behavior, Ryan. Hi, babe. Oh! Hi, babe. Thank you for checking in. Oh! Miss! Get a whiff. Oh, he hit me that time. Gotta go. He has no idea. Hey. Okay, dinner break. Yep, see. Lunch is at 10:30. You know what? That's so real. That is so real. Oh, he actually hit me. He has no trap set up. No, I thought I was gonna hit it. Bloodlust 37, dude. That would have been sick. That would have been sick. Oh. Oh, yes. Everyone, take out your flashlights. Put your lighters up. Brooklyn, put your lighters up. That's what I was giving. Open sometimes lunch break is at 9 a.m. Oh. That's not. I forgot to eat. Oh, that's so real. That has happened to me multiple times. Not because I have kids, but because I'm forgetful. I also like don't like to cook when I'm not hungry, if that makes sense. Sir, get away from me. Wiggle to the top. Wiggle to the top. I say we just go straight for the hook, friend. Oh. I was gonna go straight for hook. Look, he's right there. Like, I know. I think he's looking for me. Do. Oh no. Okay, good. He's not on me. Or get caught up in work. That's exactly how it is. Like sometimes, like, okay, so for instance, yesterday I didn't eat all day until dinner, but it's because I woke up, I had coffee, and then like didn't make breakfast, didn't have time to like go get food because I was helping my friend all day. Same thing today, like made coffee, but I didn't make food, and I left my coffee, and then I was at work, you know. I'm surprised he didn't come this way. Michaela, you're gonna stay there for a little bit. Why is he not mending? Let's see real. Oh yeah, coffee is for sure an appetite cutter. Hello. Where is this man? Oh, he's there. Hold on, come here. Nice. Goodbye. He just opened a trap over there. What is that? Why wouldn't you put a trap in front of the hook? Michaela, please. Nice. Yeah, I know. I got it. No! He opened it up again. I can't take this. I'm gonna accidentally step in that shit. Watch. Let's go back, bestie. I'm gonna try to get that hex out. Someone else needs to take a chase. I'm gonna let him come back. Yeah, he's coming back. Watch. Oh, he knows. And how exactly is that? Bye. He is protecting that hex. Oh no! Pallet? Michaela, please! Bitch, what are you doing? Okay, let's be so serious. Alright, that hex. Oh! Who saw that? Hi, Tootie. Slap on my knob. What are we asking? Sorry, mister. He's got my IP address. I'm not even gonna try. Yep. That's fine. GG. I just got distracted by Tootie's message. Toot! Welcome in, Tootie. Oh, shit. Oh! My bad. Make sure you check in, dude. Get your check in. Yeah, Laura, just finish the gen. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. How you been, Tootie? Oh, please don't. Oh my god, he's gonna hit this. Oh my god, he's gonna hit the trap. Oh my god, he's gonna hit the trap. Oh my god, he's gonna hit the trap. Oh no. Why? Dude! He's so for real. Guys. Guys. Oh, I have to leave. I'm leaving. Never gonna come back again. Fuck. And it's no Ed. He literally was protecting his no Ed, bro. I cannot. I know where it is too. Ugh. Oh, hell no. Oh, Lara Croft got out? Oh, I'm not gonna get out, guys. I think it's a wrap. I got out! I got out! Oh my god, I got out! Ain't no way! Oh, he just vote! No! No! I got out! I got out! Just vote. Watching him hit that trap while I was on hook, I was like, bro, what are we doing? I thought he saw it too. Let's go. Tootie, we're doing good. Julian, oh my god, 3 streams. That's awesome. Thank you for being here for so many streams. I appreciate it, guys. Sub badges this week. It's happening. Tootie, make sure you check in. Julian, check in. How are you doing, Leon? I'm gonna call you both. I'm literally gonna call you what everyone else calls you, but every time you're like you come in, I'll call you. I'm just gonna alternate nicknames. Like if you go by a bunch of stuff. Same thing with you, Ryan. Like I'm just gonna alternate. Just vote. Just vote. All right, but oh, we made it out. Hit it. Period. Just vote. I have many aliases. Yeah. Used to call. Wait, why? Is that your Is that your middle name or something? Why would people be calling you that? Oh, I didn't realize I was ready already. Is your middle name? Okay, man. I was like, that's so random. Just making up names at this point. Just giving you names. So what is your real name? Yeah, exactly. What is it? What is it then? Who are you? Not Juanito, bro. That's not even the same word. Dude, that's not even the... My real name is JWoww. Honestly, that's iconic. That should really be your name. That's iconic. Excuse me. Juanito is not even the word that is your name. Right. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme?
Right.
Have you ever gone to Krispy Kreme? Was it crispy?
No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's so good. That was you. That was you when she was like, Juanito? Juanito? What? I'd have been like, why are you subbing? You can't read. You cannot read. How's your day today? Do you mean me? I'm sick. That's hilarious. Never. My last name's Cologne or Colon, but like I don't think not even my dad would say it like that. So I grew up saying Cologne, and no one knew how to pronounce my last name growing up at all. They saw it, and it was Colin before it was Cologne. Hey Tony, hey Tony. I like the things you do. Not Colin. No, like, please be serious. How are you doing, Tony? I think it's a Myers. I might be tripping. I might open up lobbies here in a second. Oh my god, thank you for the bids! Tony, you're a real one. How are you? How was your Monday? Dude, your streams were lit all weekend, huh? Doing chores before you get on? Okay, period. I might be opening lobbies if you wanna join in on some. Oh shit! It's okay. It's okay. I'm not blaming you. Just get back on the generator. Killer's AFK, maybe? Is the killer AFK, guys? What do we think? Oh! When is this window ever closed? Oh, but the door's open. No, seriously. So you literally combusted. Just kidding. Do you think there's a Jen and Shaq? Let's see. Mr. Killer. Oh, Mr. Killer is on Meg somehow. Meg got scratched. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me mind my business. Let me mind my business, my Puerto Rican business over here. Guys. That wasn't supposed to happen. Is it? Why is he just scratching everyone? I'm scared. I don't want to be in Shaq. Oh, I see somebody. Okay, somebody's running. I did not mean to use my life. Tony, how was your Monday? You have work today? School? I always ask that. Work or school? I'm so scared. Obviously the killer's alive. Momo! You're here! Welcome! Thank you for checking in! Guys, sub badges. We're getting sub badges this week. No more purple stars. House husband? Oh my god, that is the dream. Tony, how do I become a house husband? Tell me. I would love to be a house husband. I can cook. I can cook and I can clean. Okay? Oh, right there. It's a Myers. Guys, go back. Go back and clip that when I said I thought it was going to be a Myers. Getting a Myers. Did you just not see where I walked away to? Oh, Mr. Miguel. I am here in the flesh. Oh my god, Momo, how was your day? What were you up to today? How's work? Oh my god, 5 streams! What? No way. No way, 5 streams. Does he turn around? I wish I was first. Aw, we all wish you were first, Tony. Don't we, chat? I think it was Rosa. Don't come back here, please. Oh, yes. Yeah, you go do that. Go knock my teammates. Yep, pick them up, catch, hook them. I do miss working, but you like to. Okay, what did you do before you were house husband? What was your last job? You're currently employed as house husband. What was your last job then? That you miss it? Because honestly, I don't think I've had a job that I miss. Oh, that was a big whiff on Myers. Oh, look at them. They're playing tag. No, come. No, don't pop it. Oh my god, why are you like this? We heal before the pop. Heal before the pop. I guess he's in chase, so it doesn't matter. What gen was she working on? Probably over there, right? He's still over there. Look at them chasing over there. You just switch from one to the other. There's Myers. Oh, this is not the gen. Oh! Oh, I watched that. Good try. I mean, I think she finishes whatever gen she's on. I thought it was this one. Used to make Hawaiian. Oh! Yum. That sounds good. Can I get some? Can you send some to me? Yeah, whiff, ho! Yeah, I'm not gonna get her. I don't need to get her. Come, Mr. Michael. You can't see me. I'm hiding. Somebody work on the door. They're both on doors. Lovely. Love that for me. I'm gonna wait for them to show up. I don't want him to stalk. In my pocket, in my pocket. Oh, A. I used to double shift because of how easy it was. Honestly, I want some. Quick. Okay, Meg, this is not it. I'm gonna let Meg sacrifice. You're fucking kidding me. Meg! Oh! Oh, man. Noed on Myers, like, sir, so you're just gonna let us get all our gens done? It should at least me let... The group misses me? Okay, bet. We'll definitely play. If you have a spot, let me know. Just hit me up on Discord. Like, it should let me take a chance. We're in the end game, you know? Like, I should be able to take a chance on Hook right now. Guys, just literally go. Oh, they're getting rid of Noed. I think they found Noed. Good luck. Thank you, bro. Wait. Okay, Noed's done. Noed's clean. Noed's clean. It's fine. They cleaned the bones. Everyone can take a hit now. Oh, I tried to take the hit for her. Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. Is he just camping her? Oh, what a freak of nature. No. Come on! No! I can't take a hit. No, I can't. I'm leaving. Yeah, the door's far. I don't know if I make the door. With a little bit of haste. Bye, ladies. I gotta go. Gotta blast. GG. I mean, I can't stay. I'm hurt. I don't even know where Meg is. GG. I mean, I think the Meg should have waited to get the hook. GG's. Just vote. Just vote. I left. I had to, you know? I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius.
I've never read about or seen a place like this.
Ba, 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 ba. Get under my clothes, all of that. Give him what she needs, all of that. Love all of that. I love all of that. Liverer. She wants a. This song is so good too. The songs have been songing today. All of that. All of that. Hey, Green! Thank you for checking in, friend! Welcome in! Did you end up getting P100, Nick? Is that when you ended stream? I'm sorry it came in so late. How are you? I miss you, friend. How are you feeling? Are you feeling better? I know you were sickies. I feel like that's the last time I really spoke to you. You're sick. Hey. Boop! The Dawnster. Or was that Docky? I didn't see. Hey. OMG, I did. I'm so happy. I'm feeling better and have been dealing with life. Oh, things have calmed down. Okay. Green, I hope you know that you can always hit me up if you need anything. Or if you just want to, like, play games. If anybody ever wants to just play games, you just have to ask me. And I will totally play games with you. Oh, Jake! Run! Jake! Jake, please! Is it Ghostface? Yeah. No save. No save. I'm gonna go for the hook, right? Oh no, maybe not. Oh, he doesn't even... have concepts. Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows. Girl. Over here. Right in front of his salad! Just unhooking right in front of his salad is crazy. Poor Ghostface. And we got this gen done? Oh, I should go back to the other one. I know you're going. Yes, exactly. It helps that to have friends. Oh! 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 Mistakes were made. Come here. No! Bad Ghostface! Oh! Who put that wall there? No! Whiff ho. Now I have a loop. Oh my god. I have another loop. 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 Ah! Ah! Put your shit away. I'm tripping all over your rocks and shit. Put them away. Wow. Wall number 2, by the way. Who keeps leaving this shit around on the floor? Did I teach you guys how to clean up? Like, why are you all just bothering me? Put that away. I did waste those pallets back there, but... Like, what? Oh! You don't want to heal me. Oh, because he's not on Jake. Oh, he is on Jake. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna 99. Oh, excuse me. We have to get back into the burp counter. I don't know how many burps I've done already. $210. Oh shit. Oh, hey, Sable. Oh, no, he's right there. No. Guys, this can't be real. This isn't real. This is not real life. Yeah, stabs himself. So real. I never said I was a doctor. Who gave me this med kit? I don't know what I'm doing. Who gave me this? Who gave these needles and gauze to me? He's still on Jake. I think these are all done, so I'm gonna go this way. Is there not one right here? I guess not. Is it really back that way? No way. There's not one in... There's not even one in here. Oh, it's all the way over here. I'm glad I'm not over there then. Okay, resilience, please. See, this is when I regret not having a toolbox. Oh, she got the save. GG's. Good try. Good try. Good try. Did it. Oh, we'll just put him right back on that generator. Okay, well this one's almost done. 3/4. That's where we're hitting. The Sable can afford a hook. Both Sables could. I'm just gonna finish this. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go right for door with my resilience open. Oh, does he come over here? He left her. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I think he's here. I was right. Okay, Sable. Oh, okay, he's on Jake now. I got you, Sable. Oh my god, another save! Okay, Sable, you have to go help. Go, Sable, go! Door's open. Here, there's a vault there. And there's a vault here. Tons of vaults for you guys. Oh, hey guys, hey, let's heal, Hey, come back. Jinx with the Sable. Okay, we're gonna go save Dawn. Let's go, team Wildcat. Get your head in the game. It's okay, easy, because now he has to build it. Easy, let's just go, everyone. Let's go, team. Triangle formation. Run! I'm just gonna go for it. Let's go. Run! 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 Oh. Nice! Nice! Oh, nice! Bye. GG's. The triangle formation always works, guys. It always does. It always works. Triangle formation always works. Don't get it twisted.
Dustin, what is your plan?
Alright guys, we're gonna run this back and we're gonna do so well, I promise. Like, part of me really wants to put conviction or unbreakable on. Because sometimes I just be crawling. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm just on all fours crawling. I would call it a dance. Oh, we need to dump these points into Arella, by the way. I guess we could play as Arella. Arella! 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 A dance. Hey, what a good song. Call it a dance. I don't really know what. No, I won't. I wouldn't call it a dance. Oh, is it a knight? No. Oh, it's not. It's artist. Oh, there she is. Oh, just chasing her. Just chasing her. Run, artist, run. Damn, 11. Girly. You thought she couldn't see you back there? And the thing about 1v4 is that I don't have a second killer to look for, you know? Can you take her out of this loop? Oh, no blind there. Take her out of the loop. Take her out of the loop. Good whiff. Oh, that wasn't a good whiff. That was really, really bad, actually. Come! 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 She literally didn't know where you were. Girl, please be so sick. Be serious. Ugh. I'm leaving. I'm leaving this whole area. I'm going this way. And I'm gonna heal. Bird mommy, it is. It is. It is she. I didn't have chat open. Okay. I used up my whole med kit, by the way. All three of them? Like, damn. Oh, I think she got my heartbeat. Oh! I guess I'm using life. Let's get the fuck away from her. Oh my god. Come on, go ahead, go ahead, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it. Oh, you're just smarter than me. Come on, pop the gens, please. Good job, Dustin. Oh, that wasn't right. Big whiff. Oh, again! Okay, never mind. I'm gonna take this. Yeah, let's try it. Ronnie! Ronnie, how are you? Guys, I'm scared. What is this secret hideout? Guys, I'm hiding. Ronnie, thank you for checking in. How are you, friend? How are you? Look, guys. Wait, who knew? Who knew this was a hiding spot? Come. No, I'm gonna heal you first. Ronnie, how's your day going? Is it time for dinner? I feel like this is around the time you get ready for dinner. Surviving. Survive with me. Good try. That's so. All right, now I know there's a hiding spot there. Making dinner. What? Well, okay, what's for dinner? I don't know what I'm eating for dinner yet. But I also had I ate really late in the day. Does she come down here? Is she around? I want those claws gone. Get your greasy, nasty claws. Ooh, pork loin with potatoes and asparagus. I want some. In my mouth. No. Ooh. Potatoes are donezo. Ooh, pork on the grill. Damn, that sounds so good. I forgot to take out meat to defrost. I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. I think I'm gonna make like a little wrap, like a sandwich wrap today for dinner. But tomorrow I think I'm gonna do like chicken Caesar salad in a wrap. And I have to make more of my green goddess dressing. We're struggling, guys. We have one dead. Ronnie, how was your day? What were you up to today? Were you taking care of the kiddo? Caesar salad is my favorite. That's my favorite. I'm afraid. Like, she definitely sees this down here, right? Get off! Get off! I love Caesar salad. It's honestly the best. Undisputed. Speaking of undisputed. Undisputed. I'm gonna keep doing this until the claws are gone. Oh, wait, she's on hook? What am I doing? I'm being a horrible teammate. I was being a horrible team today. A lot of mental stress. Trying to be a good mom. Holding W for sure. You're such a good mom, Ronnie. What do you mean, trying? You're succeeding, I promise. She got her heartbeats for sure. Oh, I'm stuck! Sorry, girl. Take that, take that. No, I saw the light too. Her nasty light. Guys, I keep bumping into shit. Ronnie, I completely understand like having so much on your mind, and I hope you know that you're doing a great job, okay? I don't ever want you to forget that. And I told Green this earlier, but honestly, if you ever just want to chill, if you ever just need something to distract you, I have been struggling too recently, and stream has been really helping, but it also always helps to have a friend, someone confide in, or people who just get it, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you trusting me with your feels. And know that you can always hit me up anytime. That's not how that works, guys. You have to point the flashlight at her face. Oh god. Alright, we're gonna let 11 get hatched. Oh, he had a... Incredible. Incredible. No, of course. And I hope you know... Look, I'm turning the game audio off. I hope you know that I sincerely mean it. And, like, Twitch is my place to be friends with people who don't live near me. And so I'm glad we're friends. And I hope you know that I see how much you do. And you have such a core, like, community. And it's awesome. I think they all see that too. You're definitely not alone, okay, friend? Excuse me. 11, come back here. Oh, come here. No, 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 11, where'd you go? Come, no, no, 11, 11, 11, 11. 11, 11, make a wish. Come here. Stop running. Why are you running? Hey, yo, 11, come here. 11. Your distraction low-key hits. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that that's what it serves, because I hope that's the point, you know? Because if it wasn't that, then... Okay, girl, can you come here? Come here. I'm trying to heal you. Oh! 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 Okay, guys, I'm bumping into every single thing on the map. Can I transport through the portal while I'm a dead body? Let's see. I can't. Well. She did. She really did. I really was trying to heal her the whole time. Alright, time to do my duties. Ooh. GG. Got you up while I get some food? Yeah, let's go get food. Games have been going well. I've been having such good games. Yes, both of you, go get your food. Go check on your food. I'm still here.
I've seen better days, that's for sure.
Is this Selena Gomez? Oh no, it's Rebecca Black. Why did it sound like Selena Gomez, low key? Am I crazy? Oh, hey, Ada. T-Ball Yasak, Betty Spaghetti, and Cotton Candy Omega. Okay. We got some friends here. Oh, it's a spring trap. There's a gen in there. Guys! Okay, he's chasing someone. That makes me feel better. Oh, there he is. Ooh. Big swing. Oh no! I cannot believe she went through the security cameras. Oh, and she matches with me, right? She's wearing her holiday sweater. GG. Icon. Come here. Does he see me? He looked back. I don't think he saw me. Does he see me? He definitely sees me. Oh, he's still chasing her. Can we go back? Can we go back to the beginning? Oh, damn. Okay, we're gonna finish this gen. That's important. That's fine. Yeah, get the fuck out of my face, ho. This is so dangerous. Woo! Oh, good try, Justin. Oh no, please. Good try, Justin. Oh, I kind of ate that up. At least I got them away from that side. They got to reset the hook. Damn, just right next to her is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. He's not even on this side of the map. Like, he's not coming to this side. And I have a full med kit still. Oh, yay! He wants to get McDonald's. So we made our orders. Ooh, okay, what's your McDonald's order? I'm not gonna lie, McDonald's is not a preference of mine. I mean, I do get it. I'm not mad at McDonald's. By any means. Oh, I see him there. But it's not my preference, but what is your go-to order? I love a McDonald's nugget. I love a snack wrap. I don't really know what they did with the new ones or how they compare with the ones from like a decade ago. Oh shit. That's not good. Yeah, I know. Oh, and it breaks the generator. 2 cheeseburgers, large fries, Dr. Pepper. Okay, okay. I'm here for it. Oh. Can I not? Oh. Good job. Bro, dude, life, come on. Big Mac, kiddo does nuggets for days and ice cream for sure. Oh my god, does the ice cream machine at McDonald's work again? Because I was 99, guys. Guys, that was silly of me. Mind you, because I just remember that was like a meme growing up, was that you know, McDonald's ice cream never worked. I'm low-key gonna run away from here because he's for sure gonna just use the cameras to get back. I'm gonna just do this one. Oh. I'm just gonna try to do this gen. Some people don't like cleaning it, so they say it's broken. Oh, thank goodness. I know. Imagine not being able to have ice cream whenever. I like a good old-fashioned chicken sandwich, chicken nuggets for sure. If I want a burger, I'm getting Wendy's. I think that's kind of like the line I draw, you know, it's burgers. Oh my god. I'm gonna go back to this generator. Oh, he's there. Oh, he's just gonna camp it? You better go back to the hook. He's looking for the Tory. Does he know? Oh, he did. He knew. It's fine. I still got the stun. Oh, I want a good burger. Go to Lotta Burger. Ooh, I've never been to Lotta Burger. Green chili on it. Oh, that sounds so good. Oh, how long? I've only been streaming an hour. I'll probably stream for like another hour, and probably make dinner myself. Ooh, that looks so good. Green, I'm gonna send you something on Discord. I died, guys. I had so many points. Wait, I was actually doing so well. Show pics of this place. Hold up. Ooh, do it, please. Because I've never heard of Lotta Burger before. I've never heard of it. That burger sounds incredible, though. Ugh. There you are.
I've never read about or seen a place like this.
Oh, yes, big stretch, big stretch. Oh, I'm gonna have to change my skin. I mean, we're the girlies, so let's get Stable up in here. Oh wait, actually, I should have been Arella. What am I doing as Stable? I'm matching her. Excuse me. All done. Oh, hey, Sable. And Oni. Oh. Why did I think that was the door? Big whiff. Oh. Oh. That's not. Well, it'd be like that. I low-key was not paying that much attention. I got distracted by something. Oh my god. Green. That burger. Oh, yes, I know. I'm so excited. I love them too. Oh, sorry. Hey, twin. Let's go work on a gen. Work on the gen. No, work on the gen. Like we're on 2 hooks. Work on the gen. I can't wait, Green. I'm glad you like them. I want everyone to love them. I think everyone's gonna really like them. I like them. Now you can heal me. Here. Now heal me. Oh my god. What is that Sable doing? Girl, look at her whole foot. That ankle looks broken. Like, damn. I don't even know where Sable is. Yeah, exactly. Like, why aren't you? I'm gonna go up here. Hoorah! I knew it was coming. Allie! Ooh, meatballs. Live, laugh, love meatballs. I love meatballs. I've like grown to love meatballs more. I make my own meatballs as well. What kind of meat do you use? You use like ground pork, ground beef, chicken, turkey? Nice. Making spaghetti sauce? Ooh. In the morning, I use ground beef, but I thought about doing pork. Yeah. I've seen them done both ways. Well, I've seen all kinds of ground meat. Ooh, give me your ball recipe. Show me your meatballs. I have a window right there. Letting the sauce simmer for a day. Ooh, yum. What do you put? What all do you put in your sauce? Just yoinked, bro. She just got yoinked. Bye, Oni. Bye, Fung. Damn, Fung. GG. Hell yeah! Okay. Oh, there's a gen here. He has no idea where I'm at. Oh, he's collecting blood bubbles. Oh! Well. I'm looping. Why isn't she working on a generator? He's sucking me! He's sucking my blood! No! I'm looping! You're doing it, Peter! Bro! I can't... That's how I feel. Oh, the wiggles don't even make it worth it! Carrots, but okay, I'm back to your recipe. Peeled tomatoes, San Marzano ones, crushed tomatoes, ooh, can of sauce, red bell pepper, ooh, oops, I missed that. That's the end of that match. Butternut squash and veggies, ooh, yum. Give it a little sweetness. That sounds delightful, Ali. Hella good. Hella good, hella great. Well, what did we learn? My mom used to make amazing tomato sauce. Ooh, yum. So my mom, growing up, my mom didn't really cook much, but when she did cook, she like had like her go-tos. And I loved when she cooked. She made like homemade penne alla vodka, like with her own sauce and everything. Oh, so good. And she used to make so much sauce. It's because I wasn't Arella, I think. It's because I was Sable. There you go. She's matching the freak a little better. She cooks such good sauce, but our other meals were like white people tacos and hamburger helper. Oh, I grew up a little frugal, if you will. I like to say frugal. Hamburger helper, corned beef. You ever had corned beef? Yuck. Spam. Yuck. I can't eat that stuff anymore. It's like stuff I had too much as a kid, you know? You ever have it so much as a kid you can't have it anymore? White people taco meat goes hard in a bag of Doritos. I know, yes. With some cheese. Yum. It's like nachos. Baby eats the best because she hasn't learned to say no. So you're like, you're gonna eat it, right? Right? To the little one. Right? Right? Say no. I dare you. Like that. Walking tacos at the fair. Oh, is that what they're called? Walking tacos? I think I'm gonna make a croissant sandwich today. I have like deli meat, cheese, taco in a mini Dorito bag. I'm dead. Because they're gone. Yes, literally, I bet. That sounds so good. I'm actually getting so hungry thinking about food. Hey, ladies. Okay, now, ladies. Yeah, if you know you bad. Yeah. Sable, there's not enough space for you here. Oh. Cindy, your TV is leaking. Cindy, this bitch is messing up my floor. Come here, Sable. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with you. Oh, she can TP, right? To the TVs. Ooh, black beans. I love black beans. I could eat beans. Yum, yum, yum. I love me some beans. Wow, she really went for the unhook. Even while scratched. I think they're literally across the map. Yeah, I used to not like them, but I do now. My tacos and burritos. Yeah, beans are so good for you too. It's just good to have a bean, you know? Guys, I'm scared. What if she comes out of this TV? I don't like the way that TV sounds. It's scary. Like, is she TPing or not? You know? Oh no, she's definitely running. Hey. Oh, that's not. Where's that happening even? It must be over there. Oh, it is literally right on the TV. Hey, girly. I'm gonna grab you, but I'm leaving. Immediately. Oh, what? She's not there anymore. I'm going to this TV. No TV for you. She's coming. There's a gen right here. There's a gen right here. I'm gonna get this. You will never get this. You will never get this. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, 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 okay. Nice. I kind of want her to chase me and get off of them. Oh, but yeah, I had a feeling they were on that side. I couldn't tell though. No, Sable, why are you running? You don't have to run so far. I promise.
You lost some blood. Let's get you out of here.
I still want to keep my needle. I was almost about... Yeah, like, it's okay. We can stay over here. I promise. That TV is off. I'm just going to keep going for this gen. She just keeps... She's so non-committal. She keeps switching chases around. Okay. Gotta find a TV. I know there's one back here. Oh, I see her. Did she just TP? Oh, she did. I'm so dumb. Oh, yeah, it's a walls.
Damn, son, where'd you find
Green,
this?
you scared the shit out of me. Oh, is that an add-on where it's always at Shack? You will never get this. You will never get this.
Oopsie whoopsie! Ooh, we made a plucky wucky! A little fucko boingo!
I like that one too. We haven't played that one in a while. Come here. Hey, come here. Oh, I'm so bad at the game. Well, they got the gen done. Oh my god, you are a fucking incredible person. The way she's just TPing. Oh no, she's just chasing Fung. Fung the goat. Okay, I'm gonna go right to Shack and put this tape in. I don't know what door they opened. It's definitely the one I'm not near, right? Yeah, not this one. Get shit on, Sadako. Yeah, Sadako? Sadako? Is that how you say it? Oh, it is this door. Hey, girl. Wait, let me do this. Hey. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Why can't I use my syringe? I can only use it when I'm damaged. Hey, did everybody get out? Hey. Okay, but what about Fung? What about Fung? Oh, not Laura trying to stop me. It's for endurance now. Yeah, I know, but I was still exhausted. I thought it was exhausted. I had the exhausted state. But I guess I can't use it unless I'm damaged too. No more speedy drugs. I know I miss the heal, the instant like health stage after what was it, 15 seconds or something like that. They ruined my drugs.
Not even in death, apparently.
Yeah, I think I had to be injured because I still had the syringe, but I was exhausted. Not exhausted and injured. Well, isn't it? Wait, now I think it's anti-exhaustion. Yeah, you have to be exhausted. Loses exhausted status.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say while healing. Oh, while healing. So I have to be healing. That's so silly. Ugh. I miss when they were better, when they were actually healing. So you needed injured. Yeah, I needed like an health state. I said last game and I played 2. So that's where I'm at. I'm having too much fun. You know what I'm playing? You know what I'm playing? You know what I'm playing? You already know. Oh, hey!
Better not lose any blood.
Touch the fire. Oh, there's no gen in here. That's another spring trap. I don't know why they're changing it, to be fair. You still have to loop. Yeah. Absolutely. We love touching the fire. Yes, everyone keep your hand warm. Kevin, what are you doing here? How you doing? How's your Monday? I miss you. Thank you for checking in. Guys, sub badges this week. Every time I see somebody with a sub, I'm like, guys, you just have to wait. Sub badges are coming. I miss you. We need to play more. I keep telling people offline, please play with me. You're gonna make me download Hello Kitty Island Adventure just to play. Just to play with my friends. Oh, Mr. Springtrap. Hi. No! Oh, there's a vault! Vault! Put that window! I don't play that as much as I used to. From helloing my kitty. Has your kitty been helloed? You've also been playing DVD a lot more, I noticed. At least on stream, recently. With the PTB and all. I figured, maybe it was refreshing to also be playing that. I'm sorry, 11. I'm sorry, 11. I can't help you, girl. It's okay. I have a life. My life is back, but I'm gonna work on this gen with her. I'm excited for the new Survivor. Yes, I said fuck them kids. No, dead ass. No, help me, please. Yeah, I said sorry, girl. 11, you gotta stay over here. Oh my god, yes! I have. Oh, you got the game, the racing one. I have the like remastered one or whatever the fuck came out for PS5. All right, I'm gonna go this way. We don't both need to be over there. He's just gonna rush that hook. Maybe I should play that on stream. There's a level I'm stuck on that it just makes me stop. Damn, he really walked her ass all the way back over here. I'm gonna just get her right off. Because he's just going for chase. Look, he went right for that hook. What did I say? Ooh, that's fun. And regular Crash Bandicoots. Ooh. Kevin, how's your day? How's work today? What are you up to? What are you doing? Oh, I need to get some dinner. Yes, go get food. Bye, Kevin. Always miss you. Work was fast. Yes. Yeah, go home, get noms. I probably won't be live when you're on or when you're home. Ay puta. This way, come. I'm an idiot sandwich. Text me, ho. You're right. You're no. I know you're right. You're right. Fine. I will text you. I promise. I know I'm bad at texting. I'm literally so much better in person. That's why I like Twitch. This is like the best version of me you're gonna get. It's like the closest thing to in person. I got the old school Aladdin and Lion King games. Oh, wow. TBT. Crash 1 and 2 and Warp and Racing 1 and Spyro. Oh my god, Spyro. Another throwback. Wow, she's really taking that chase. 11. 11. 11. 11. Good job, 11. He doesn't want to chase me. He went all the way over there. Do you guys remember the Disney Channel games? Like the ones on the website? Like Disney.com? I used to play all those. The Lilo and Stitch one, the Kim Possible one. Guys, do you know the movie Home on the Range? Did you guys ever play that one? Okay, I'm gonna go to the other door. The Lion King typing game. Did you guys? Oh. I found it. I'm just gonna grab it now. I hope he focuses them. Oh my god, Zumbinis. Do you remember Zumbinis? Ladies, I'm bringing him all the way the fuck back to you. Sorry. Sorry, Bootits. Booby, hold on. Booby, hold on. I'm coming, 11. Make me a pizza. Oh my god, I'm so happy you know Zumbinis. That makes me so happy. Zumbinis was also my childhood. That one and Putt Putt. Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, specifically. This door is literally almost open. I just couldn't open it. Come on, Sable, please. That's fine. There's no Noed. No Noed. $11. Okay, we got the door open. Why would he do this? Is it? Well, Blood Warden. That's cute. Noed and Blood Warden. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. See, this is why you can't play too much 2v8 because. Guys, I made it out. Oh man. All right, I think that's it for me. Oh, and I froze. That is my sign. That is my sign to get off. Look, I'm not even here. Yeah, look, it took too long. Jeez. I'm just gonna get off for now. I had a really long day. I'm tired. Green, if you want to run Fortnite later, let me know. I'm down to play some Fortnite. Thank you for being here. Stream is only fun and possible when people are here to hang out with me and listen to me giggle and die. So, yeah, it's only fun when I get to hang out with you guys. Otherwise, it's not fun for me. So I'm happy you guys are here. And yes, sub badges this week. It's gonna be so exciting. Ronnie, oh my god, no, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I really mean it. Like, Green, wanna play Fortnite later? Yeah, because it's tiring to do this, but if I was on a call with you, it'd feel nice. You know, it'd be different. Down, let me eat and I'll message you. Yes, please. I'm gonna eat as well. But I'm so down. I'm just, sometimes stream is like, okay, deuces, gotta go. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, and Ronnie, I mean everything I said earlier. Like, you are not alone, as lonely as you might feel. And it took a long time for me to like have that message in my mind. Like, I'm not alone. I might feel lonely, but I'm not alone. I'm just better than solos. You are. It's true, Ronnie. I mean every word I say. Yeah, Ronnie, you're the best. You too, Green. Like, everyone in chat, like, we are not alone. We have each other. It might be really lonely sometimes to do things and experience things on our own. That bond never breaks. I know. Friends that poop together stay together. Friendship. But it's honestly the truth, and I hope you guys believe me when I say that stuff because it's how I feel. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Who are we gonna rate out to? Oh my god, we have rated to Ryan so many times recently. I think, oh my god, Carl's on? Let's rate to Carl. I haven't seen Carl in so long. Okay, Carl's the best. She's playing Rivals. We'll just go and vibe with her for a little bit. Raid and run. Because I honestly, raids are hard for me. I like to just lurk. And that's another thing. I like to lurk. That's why I need to play games, because then I'm forced to chat and yap. I think that's her user. Yep. Let's go say hi to Carl. She's playing Rivals. Her name is actually Carl. She's honestly such a good vibe. Miss her. I haven't seen her live in so long. So let's go hang out with her. Thank you guys so much for being here. And Friday might not be a subathon or even a subathon flavor stream. We'll see how I feel and when I start streaming on Friday. But sub badges should be here by then. So